The galaxy was quiet for a long time. For 500 years, there had been peace. The Tarn Dominion controlled half of the stars, and no one dared to fight them. They were strong, cruel, and feared. Other alien races stayed silent, obeying every command. To the Tarn, power was everything. They believed the weak had no right to speak. Among the many planets they watched, Earth was just a small blue dot. The Tarn called it a low world, and never took it seriously. They thought humans were slow, foolish, and backward. No one expected anything from Earth. But then, something strange happened. A Tarn scout ship was sent near Earth's solar system. It was a simple job: fly in, record some data, and return. The scout sent one message before going silent. The message was full of static, but one thing was clear: the pilot was screaming. Then the signal was gone. The Tarn leaders laughed. They thought it was a technical issue. Maybe a meteor, one officer said. Or maybe the fool crashed into a moon. No one worried. It was just Earth. 2 days later, a second ship was sent. This time, a destroyer. It never came back. Now the Axan grew concerned. A third ship followed, a small fleet of 5 warships. These were not scouts. These were real war machines. All of them disappeared without a trace. No signals, no calls, nothing. Panic started to rise. One of the generals ordered the data reviewed. A technician noticed something odd. Earth had gone silent. Before, Earth gave off many signals: radio, video, energy pulses. But now, nothing. Complete silence. It was like Earth had vanished. The technicians checked again and again. The planet was still there, but it was dark. No messages, no noise, just cold silence. The High Council of the Tarn met in secret. They didn't understand what was happening. One council member, old and wise, whispered, "What if Earth is not weak? What if they were hiding their strength?" The others laughed. "They are primitive monkeys," one shouted. "They throw rocks and burn oil. They cannot harm us." But fear was growing. Then something even stranger happened. One of the lost ships returned. It came limping into Xan space, its engines barely working. The hull was broken, and most of the crew was dead. The only survivor was a young soldier. His eyes were wide with terror. He had burn marks across his body. When the doctors tried to speak to him, he only whispered one thing: "They are not what we thought. They are monsters." That word spread fast. Monsters. The survivors spoke of fast ships, dark and quiet. He said the humans used strange weapons, ones that melted armor and jammed systems. He said they didn't fight like soldiers. They fought like hunters. One by one, the Tarn ships were pulled apart. Not in battle, but in silence. The humans didn't send threats. They didn't talk. They simply destroyed. The Tarn commanders didn't believe him at first, but the fear in his eyes was real. He screamed in his sleep. He refused to be near any machine. "They are coming," he kept saying. "They watched us. They waited. Now they come." The Tarn tried to cover the news. They told the other races that Earth was unstable, dangerous, but under control. Inside, they were not sure. Something was happening, and they didn't understand it. Small rumors began to spread across the stars. Traders spoke of strange ships moving in the dark. Smugglers claimed they saw Earth weapons far stronger than San tech. One story said that a Terran eye had destroyed a whole pirate fleet in seconds. Another tale said humans had soldiers who could walk through fire and not die. The Tarn ignored these stories, but the fear kept growing. Finally, a decision was made. The Tarn would send a battle group, 50 ships, powerful and armed. Their job was simple: reach Earth, scan the planet, and return. The commander in charge was known for his pride. He laughed at the idea of human danger. He said, "I will bring back their leader's head." That fleet left on the 10th day of silence. They never returned. No message came, no debris found, no sign of battle. The fleet was simply gone. Now, the galaxy watched Earth with new eyes. And somewhere in the darkness, the humans watched back. They had waited long enough. The galaxy was no longer quiet. After the second fleet vanished, fear spread through every corner of space. The Tarn Dominion, once proud and feared, was now silent. They had sent 50 ships to Earth. Not even a whisper came back. Other alien races watched carefully. They remembered how the Tarn laughed at Earth, calling it weak and backward. But now, no one was laughing. Then, one ship returned. It was a transport ship, heavily damaged. Its engines were dying, and the hull was full of holes. The ship drifted into Xan space, almost dead. Rescue teams pulled it in. Inside, they found only 7 survivors out of 500. All of them were injured. Some had lost arms or legs. One had gone blind. But worst of all was the look in their eyes, pure terror. The commander of the rescue base asked them what happened. The survivors didn't speak at first. They just sat, shaking. Then one of them, a soldier named Rennick, finally talked. His voice was broken, soft, like a whisper. They came from nowhere, he said. No warning, no signal, just death. He explained what they saw. The fleet reached Earth and began scanning. Everything seemed quiet. There were no defense satellites, no large space stations, no fleets in orbit. It looked like Earth was empty. Then, one by one, their ships started going dark. No attacks, no explosions, just systems failing. Lights going out, weapons freezing, engines dying. Then came the shadows. Human ships didn't look like the ones in the Tarn database. These were dark, sharp, and moved without sound. They didn't use bright weapons or loud missiles. They used something else, something faster, stronger, smarter. Human drones slipped into Xan ships and shut them down from inside. In minutes, Xan warships became useless metal shells. Rennick said they tried to fight back. They fired everything they had. But the humans were always one step ahead. They jammed communications. They hacked targeting systems. When Xan soldiers tried to escape in pods, human weapons vaporized them mid-air. They didn't fight like soldiers, Rennick said. They hunted us, like predators. One of the other survivors cried out. They were smiling. I saw them, those human soldiers. They smiled while killing us. This was something that Xan could not understand. To them, war was business. Cold, calculated, clean. But the humans, these strange Terrans, they enjoyed the fight. They moved fast, worked together, and showed no fear, no mercy. News of the survivor spread. The Tarn tried to keep it quiet, but it was too late. Other alien races began whispering. If Earth could destroy a battle group of 50 ships, what else could they do? In the shadows, fear grew. The Galactic Council met. The Tarn leader, Supreme Warlord Vetrax, stood before the other races. His voice was strong, but his eyes showed worry. We were not ready, he said. This was a mistake. We underestimated them. The humans must be studied, watched. But one small alien ambassador stood up. He was from a peaceful race called the Thari. He looked directly at Vetrax and asked, "What if they're already watching us?" Silence fell in the council room. New reports came from traders and pirates. Some claimed their ships had been followed by unknown shadows in deep space. One said a cargo ship vanished near Earth and reappeared near the edge of the galaxy, with all the crew dead and a single message carved into the hull: "Stay away." Others laughed, thinking it was just fear stories. But many believed. Something had changed. Earth was no longer weak. It had awakened, and it was angry. The Tarn made plans to build a new fleet, stronger and smarter. But inside their war rooms, even the most loyal commanders had doubts. The enemy was not just strong. They were clever. And quiet. Then, one final event shocked the galaxy. A high-level Tarn base on the edge of their territory went dark. No explosion, no signal, just silence. When a scout arrived days later, the base was still there, but every soldier, every machine, every system was gone. In the center of the control room, written in blood-red letters, were 4 words. "We are not weak." The message was clear. Earth had sent its answer. The silence was over. The galaxy now felt the weight of something new, fear of Earth. The Tarn Dominion, once proud rulers of many stars, was shaken. They had lost ships, fleets, and bases without even a proper war. Their enemy never spoke. No warning, no demands, just fire and death. Now, the Tarn were ready to strike back. They gathered a massive invasion fleet. Over 200 warships, loaded with weapons, fighters, and elite ground forces. This time, they would not make mistakes. Their ships had stronger shields, better scanners, and new defenses. The Tarn believed they were prepared. They were wrong. As the fleet moved closer to Earth, something strange happened. The space around them began to feel empty. No signals, no sounds, no signs of human defense. The commanders started to worry. "Where are their ships?" one asked. "Where is their fleet?" But there was nothing, just darkness. Then the lights started to die. One by one, Tarn ships went blind. Their sensors stopped working. Communications failed. Weapons systems froze. Panic spread quickly. Orders were shouted, but no one could hear them. The fleet was lost in silence. And then the humans came. Out of the shadows, hundreds of black ships appeared. They moved without light, without sound. Fast, sharp, and deadly. The Tarn opened fire, but it was useless. The human ships dodged every blast and returned fire with strange weapons. Red beams cut through shields like paper. Invisible bombs tore ships apart from the inside. Within minutes, the Axan lost over 50 ships. On the ground, it was even worse. Human drop pods rained from the sky. They hit like meteors, smashing into Tarn landing zones. Soldiers poured out, tall, armored, and silent. They didn't speak. They didn't pause. They moved like ghosts. Tarn soldiers tried to fight back, but nothing worked. Their bullets bounced off human armor. Their energy weapons were jammed. A Tarn general screamed for help, but his signal was blocked. He ran outside his bunker and saw something he would never forget. A group of human soldiers walking through fire, untouched, guns glowing red. One human turned to him and smiled. The general died moments later. The Tarn tried to retreat. The commanders shouted for their ships to escape. But the human fleet had already surrounded them. There was nowhere to run. One by one, the Tarn ships were destroyed. Escape pods were hunted down and vaporized. No survivors were allowed. In just 2 hours, the great invasion fleet was gone. On the Tarn homeworld, fear turned into chaos. News of the disaster spread like wildfire. The leaders were silent. For the first time in centuries, they had lost a real war. Not just a battle, a complete defeat. The worst part, the humans never said a word. No message, no speech, just silence. Across the galaxy, other alien races began to change their minds. Some broke their alliance with the Tarn. Others sent quiet messages to Earth, offering peace or friendship. The galaxy had a new power now, and it was terrifying. One message from a spy near Earth was shared in secret circles. It said the humans had only used a small part of their true army. That their real power was hidden deep inside their planet. That they had weapons no one could understand. But the scariest line in the report was the last. They are not fighting for power. They are fighting because we made them angry. Back on Earth, in a secret command center, Admiral Reyes stood in front of a screen. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. Behind him, hundreds of officers worked silently. The Earth Defense Network had won, but there was no joy, no cheering. Admiral Reyes looked at the map showing the Ktan's destroyed fleet. He spoke just one sentence to his staff. This was only the beginning. The galaxy had changed. No one could deny it anymore. Earth, once ignored and forgotten, had become the most feared planet in known space. The Ktan Dominion had sent their largest fleet to crush the humans, and lost everything. No survivors, no second chances. The news spread like fire. Planets that once worshipped the Ktan now whispered the same word in fear: Terrans. The Ktan homeworld was in panic. Military leaders shouted at each other. Some wanted to surrender. Some wanted to hide. Others still believed they could win. But no one had answers. All they knew was this: if the humans came again, they would not leave anyone alive. That's when it happened. Without warning, human ships entered Ktan space. Not a few. Hundreds. Black, silent, and cold. They didn't stop at the border. They flew straight toward the Ktan homeworld. Defense systems activated, but it was already too late. The human fleet moved fast, cutting through defenses like knives through cloth. Ktan ships tried to fight, but were destroyed within minutes. The humans used weapons no one understood: silent blasts, invisible fire, strange energy that shut down machines instantly. Then came the ground assault. Human soldiers landed in the capital city. The skies turned red as buildings burned. Ktan soldiers tried to hold the lines, but nothing worked. The humans moved like they already knew every corner of the city. They avoided traps. They walked through walls. Some soldiers swore the humans used teleporters, but no one could prove it. In just one night, the Ktan homeworld fell. But the humans did not destroy it. Instead, they stood in the streets, silent, watching. Then they left. Just like that. No demands, no peace treaty, no speeches. Just one message left on every screen, written in glowing red words: "We are done hiding." The message was clear. Earth could have destroyed the Ktan completely, but they didn't. They wanted everyone to see what power looked like, and remember. Across the galaxy, smaller races began to turn. They had feared the Ktan for generations. Now they saw Earth as their only hope. Secret meetings were held. Messages were sent to Earth: pleas for help, offers of alliance. One by one, small worlds joined the humans. They called themselves the Free Stars. Earth welcomed them without pride, only purpose. Behind it all was Admiral Reyes. Known across the stars as the Ghost, he never showed anger, never made threats. He simply planned, moved, and struck. He had seen war before. He knew what it cost. But now, he had a mission: to make sure no one ever hurt Earth again. In a secret council, Reyes spoke to leaders of the Free Stars. His voice was calm, his words simple. "We will not conquer. We will protect. But if anyone raises a hand against us again, they will not have time to regret it." The Ktan, broken and confused, tried to speak with Earth. They sent diplomats with gifts. They begged for peace. But Earth gave no answer. Then, something strange was discovered. A scientist from the Thari race, who had joined the Free Stars, shared a shocking report. Humans had been listening to the galaxy for over 100 years. Secret satellites, deep space probes, hacked systems. They had watched everything: wars, treaties, lies. They knew that Ktan's plans long before the first scout ship was sent to Earth. But they never acted. Not until the Ktan made the mistake of attacking them. The galaxy realized something terrifying. Earth was not surprised by the war. They were prepared. The Ktan had thought they were fighting a weak species. But in truth, they had attacked a sleeping storm. The galaxy was quiet again, but not like before. This was not the silence of peace. It was the silence of fear. Every race, every empire, every hidden world knew the truth now. Humans were not weak. They were not behind. They were not foolish. They were watchers, builders, and warriors. And now, they were in control. The Xan dominion had fallen. Their war fleets were destroyed. Their leaders were silent. Their cities were empty. The races who once served them now looked to Earth for guidance. They had seen the power of Terrans, and they had seen their mercy. Earth could have destroyed the Xan homeworld completely, but didn't. That made the humans even more frightening. They had power, but also control. No one knew what they would do next. Admiral Reyes stood at the center of the new galaxy. He had not asked for this. He had never wanted to lead. But now, all eyes were on Earth, and Reyes understood something deep. If they didn't guide this new order, someone worse would try to take control again. On a large space station above Earth, leaders from 100 different planets gathered. Some were small, some were powerful, but all had seen what the humans could do. The room was quiet as Reyes stepped in. He wore no armor, no medals, just a black uniform with a simple Earth symbol on his chest. He looked at the leaders and spoke with a calm, steady voice. The galaxy has been ruled by fear for too long. The Xan taught us that strength without honor brings only pain. We will not follow that path. Earth does not seek to conquer. We seek to protect. But let this be clear. If anyone dares to harm the innocent again, we will be there, and we will not be gentle. There was no shouting, no arguments, just silence. Then, one by one, the leaders nodded. A new council was formed, not to rule, but to balance. Earth would lead, but not control. Every voice would be heard. Every planet would have a vote. It was not perfect, but it was better than war. They called it the Pact. And at the heart of it stood the humans, quiet and strong. But Earth did not relax. Admiral Reyes' new enemies were still out there. Not all races agreed with the new order. Some wanted revenge. Some wanted power. And some simply hated humans. So Earth watched. They built more ships, trained more soldiers, improved their defenses. But they also opened their doors. They shared knowledge, helped rebuild broken worlds, and offered safety to those who had suffered under the Xan. Humanity had become a guardian. In dark places of space, small rebellions rose. Groups that hated the new peace. They attacked trade ships and bombed new colonies. But every time they struck, a shadow followed them. A black ship, a silent drone, a soldier in strange armor. And every time the attackers disappeared. Some said Earth had eyes everywhere, that no secret was safe from them, that they had machines that could hear thoughts. Most of it was rumor, but no one dared to test the truth. 1 year later, the Xan sent a message to Earth, not of anger, but apology. Their new leader, young and humble, stood in front of the council and bowed. "We were proud," he said. "We were wrong. We are sorry." The humans accepted the words without smile, without hatred, just silence. The galaxy began to heal. Trade returned. Colonies grew. Children on faraway planets no longer feared the dark. And in schools across the stars, they told the story of what happened. They called it the Awakening. The day when Earth showed its true face, not as monsters, not as conquerors, but as protectors who had been pushed too far. And in every version of the story, one truth never changed. No one had expected the humans. But when they arrived, they came like a wrathful force. And the galaxy would never forget.